Hi, and welcome everyone to another episode of Gaming with Jason. Today, I really want to tackle an issue that I see with a lot of players, and I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, so I'm going to kind of show you. So, as you can see here, I am on day 46, and I already have 1,920 points. I have actually had the win since about day 40. I'm just waiting on everybody else to catch up, as you see. I'm more than double of anybody in my coalition because I have been attacking since day one. So if you want to learn how to have stats like this and how to get up like this and get to a point to where you can have a solo win within 35 to 40 days after starting a server, stay tuned. And I'm going to share with you some tips and some tricks and some strategies on how to be able to avoid the normal pitfalls that most people fall into, which is why I am able to beat them and I have the points and they don't. So, what I'm going to do is, let's see, I have a lot of servers. This one's actually archived, and just so you know, I archived this server and I made a deal with the uh, with the leader of the group and said, "Look, I'm gonna archive this server. I've got to the point that I'm gonna win. I'll stay in as long as you guarantee me that I won't get booted and that you'll protect me." Now, as you can see, the level of defense and radar and stuff like that I have around my homeland cities, I have probably like 4 or 5 wings. I have an AWACS right here. I have all that. Let me show you what it looks like towards the end. Now, I really didn't work too much on these because I didn't need to. Um, but as you see, I have level 2 and level 3, level 4 air bases. I still, usually in the city where I have my high air base, that is dedicated to air units. So I never really build a barracks past level 1 unless I need infantry. And so this is what my cities look like. This is what my production looks like. My production is actually pretty low. Um, but that's partly because some of my points come from the Americas or come from just like vast open areas. Um, you know, depending upon what areas of the globe that you attack on, and depending upon certain other factors, is going to determine whether or not you are going to have a lot of resources or not. I should be having somewhere around 500, but I also have 2 fleets. Where did my other fleet go? I know. Okay, so there you go. As you can see, sorry, I had to find it. It took me a second. As you see, I have a level 4 officer. I have 3 cruisers. And as you see, I only upgraded them to where I could get 100 and 100 here on ships. I'm not worried about this too much. I'm more worried about my range on ships and my range on land units. Okay, and if you see here, this is kind of what I have. And let's just go look at the number of units that I have. If you look here, I have a total of 130 units. I don't keep a lot of wars going. These are going just because I helped out some of my coalition members. Okay, so now you kind of see what it is that I can do, and I do this on just about every server. If you keep watching, and if I show you what it looks like at the end of every server, most servers, um, once I reached a certain level, I pretty much am on like a 4 or 5 game winning streak, and it just gets to the point where it's like all you do is win, and then it becomes boring, which is why you want to go after gold. So here, let me teach you how to get to this point. The way that you play this game, as you can see, we're on day 18 and he's building destroyers and tanks and so on and so forth. Whereas over here, what I'm building is I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tank divisions. I haven't built a single, I haven't built and I have a wing of air superiority fighters and a wing of strike fighters. Okay, so that's what I have. And he has this. Now, there are 2 things. There is somebody that is teaching other people to go, and as you see, just go take all the tiles and leave the cities open. I don't know who's teaching this or what bad idea this is, but I've been watching a lot of players do this, and this is a huge, huge mistake. Because here's the thing. The reason why I have the resource production that I have that you see up here is because when I go to attack somewhere, I go to attack the city. I'm not going to attack and just take all the tiles and not the city. Because if you look, the resources are right here in the city. What resources do you get in a tile? You get money. You get manpower. You're not getting anything of substance. So if you're resource poor, but you have a lot of tiles, what you're telling me is that you're not invading cities because you'll get about half of that. So let's look here. I have so that's a homeland city. Let's see, where's the okay, so this city here. So now that was 7, but I'm getting 121, but I only have 35% as far as happiness. As that happiness goes up, that will go up, and that will probably come in around 4 to 600 once everything comes. And here's the thing. The reason why if you want to be able to have resource production at the end of your game, you have to take over a lot of cities at the beginning of your game. Because as you see, I started off as Germany. Okay, and so let's see. Paris is one of the first capital cities that I took. I'm now sitting at 62%, and I'm getting 235, which is adding to this total here that I'm getting of 166. Okay, now the thing is as that gets higher and higher, then the resource production starts going out. Let's look at this capital city. Well, let's look at electronic city here. So I was getting 200. Now I'm at 54%. I'm getting 200 there. In Madrid, I'm getting 168 on that. So this is where it adds up, because if you think that these little tiles, let me show you. Like, look at this. I'm only getting 142 with an 82% happiness. I'm not getting a lot. A conquered city is going to give you more resources than any of these resource tiles do. Okay, you want to build industrial complexes on the cities or on the tiles in your original homeland, but you're not going to build anywhere else. Now, sometimes what I will do is if I get really greedy or if I need a lot of resources, I will start going around into these cities and I will start putting, like, if I need a lot of components, I will start putting arms industries in these components. Now, does this mean that I need to annex a city? No, I don't need to annex a city to move forward and to get um, to get to this point where I'm at right here. And it's simply because all I did is I got level 1, level 1. I can't do a lot of research in the beginning. I'm now finally being able to do some research. I mean, I've got my tank being upgraded. I made sure to upgrade my recon vehicles. I made sure to upgrade my infantry here, because this is kind of like where your pressure points are. You got to upgrade those. I didn't start adding tanks, and I use the anti-battle tank. I'm actually starting to experiment with this, but I use the anti-battle tank, or excuse me, the tank destroyer, because I don't know, it does more damage, and uh, I think that the recon units in combination with this will offer me more versatility and more of a survival rate. What my goal is to do, and the reason why I'm trying this strategy out, is a lot of countries are component poor. Germany happens to be component rich, so I can get a lot of things done. But I'm putting a lot of money. So if you look here, the main battle tank is going to cost you 1,800 to start versus the 1,250 here. So that's gonna save you about 550 components per tank. Plus, if you look at it here, you'll see that it does 8 damage to a tank and 9 damage uh, to soft targets, to infantry. Whereas, sorry, my computer's just acting up. Whereas with this, I am doing 12 damage to armor and 3 damage. And so if I take 3 of these tank destroyers and I take 2 of these, it will actually make up and become a stronger anti-armor unit, even though I'm not using actual tanks. So the tank destroyers, coupled with this are the cheaper options if you're going to be component poor in a uh, in a game. Okay, and as you see, I've been just sticking to infantry, but that is my basic start. And as you see here, I'm kind of starting to get up there. I haven't even at this point, and I'm kind of a little bit behind. Um, but I would say that I wouldn't even start working on destroyers until you have at least 150 an hour from your components, which would be somewhere around, about 4,500 components a day. If you're using the mobile app, it doesn't tell you what your hours is, it tells you what your day is. So as long as you're making about 4,500 a day, you can make one destroyer. I will show you over here where I did that. Wait, hold on. No, wrong one. Is over here where I did that. And I am actually moving my destroyer. I don't want to show you where it's at because if somebody's watching this, I don't want them to see my sneak attack coming. So I'm not going to show you exactly that. But as you see here, I went with the infantry route. And I'm 6 days ahead of the other server. And so I did go here, and as you see, this was what I researched. I researched the recon vehicle first, and then and the infantry first, and then I come to this. Once I get over like 100 uh, components an hour, then I felt comfortable to go ahead and build this. Because here's the thing: you need to be able to build a lot of units and build a lot of units quick. So here, let's see, I am at the top of the server again, and I have 70 units. Okay, as you see here, I am, if I'm not, come on. So I'm at the top of the server again, and I have 60 units. Now I'm able to do this because all I'm building is infantry and recon. I'm taking the cities, and I'm gaining the resources. Day 10 to 14 is when your resources will start to kick in from all these back cities that you started to take over, which will then allow you to put your unit production into overdrive, which is why you want to focus. As you see here, I'm working on my recruiting offices now so that I can recruiting office so that I can uh, get my units out faster. So even though, and the reason why is because I want to get my higher end units out quicker. So I don't mind the lower end units like the infantry and the recon vehicles coming out coming out in due time, so on and so forth. But now that I'm getting into the heavier vehicles, such as tank destroyers and ships, which is where I will be going next. Once I get into that point, I want to be able to have my recruiting offices up so that it can make up the difference. And it will actually work to your benefit. And if you actually look here, even as Germany, I have uh, all of these at level 2 and 3 because I wanted more resources and I wanted to get more done quicker. So, in my conclusion, I will say that the average player makes 3 fatal mistakes. Okay. Now, not every player does all 3 of them. Some do 1, some do 2, some do all 3. Depends upon what stage of the game you're in. But the 3 fatal mistakes that most people make is one, they try and build high-end units early in the game. You can't build high-end units early in the game. That's why you need to attack and acquire resources. The whole purpose of being aggressive and getting as big as I am is because I need the resources for the mid game and late game. Okay. The second most fatal mistake that people make is that they like to take tiles instead of cities, or they like to sit back and they like to play the safe game. This is ones and zeros. You're going to lose units. It is okay to lose units. I lose units and then I replenish my ranks. I've lost divisions, but I quickly replenish my ranks. What's more important is the resources that you can gain. So, who cares if you've got to go build a whole nother division? It's not a big deal. Because if you have yourself set up right, and if you listen to the advice that I've been giving you in this video and in the last few videos, you will be able to become a strong player like me. Okay, and the third and most fatal mistake that I see people make is their choice in units. You have to have an evolving strategy. When I first started, it was all about tank divisions. Now, if you want to survive against everybody who has tank divisions, because not a lot of people use tank divisions, now everybody uses tank divisions, and now you have to use anti-armor units. And the thing is if you progress in the game, you will see that players, as things go along, they go online to YouTube like you're doing here, and they watch videos and they look on how to get better, which then changes the gameplay, which then, for experienced players like me that really enjoy the strategy, you force me to change and to find new strategies. And, because recently I've decided to start doing air superiority fighters. Everybody always had strike fighters, so I never had to worry about it as long as I was the guy initiating the first strike, disabling air bases. I could get in there. But then when you're dealing with air superiority fighters, next thing you know, like yesterday, I took out 10 superiority fighters with one wing, and the strikers were like 2-star, and my superiority wing was of level 4, which is like a staff sergeant. All right, and I it took 2 hits, but I took out one wing, and then I took out another wing, and it's not. You have to really evolve with the gameplay, and I think that that's really what I'm trying to say is that the third most fatal mistake is everybody wants to get into the same rut and put in the same units. And I play a different game every game because the players play a different game. You've got to realize that you can attack, and that you just got to realize that you can attack early and often, and attack as much as possible, because until you get to the point where everybody's attacking from the get-go, you won't have to change your strategy. That's one strategy that for 2 years I have not had to change, which is I attack earlier and earlier, because I used to wait till day like 4 or 5, then it was like day 2 or 3. Now on the first day, as you see here, um, actually, as you see here, I mean, I just started the server a couple hours ago, and I'm already in the process of attacking. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry, something went wrong with my camera in the middle of this recording. What I will say is that if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. That helps me with the algorithm, and plus you get to keep up to date with all of the releases that I do. If you have any questions, or if you have any topics that you'd like me to cover that I haven't covered, as you see, the last video that I did was an answer to somebody's question who asked for a video on it. Uh, I will definitely respond in kind with a video. So don't hesitate to ask, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Thanks for watching.